What's up, guys? My name is LoverFella and welcome back to Rust. Guys, we're trying to make a series on this game right now. You know, it's a little bit hard for me, but I'm gonna do my best to survive. That's the goal today, to survive. And I have a gun. This is my first gun ever in this game. Almost looks like a paint can that shoots, but anyway, on this server there's like 118 people online, so there's gonna be some crazy PvP. I will embarrass myself quite a bit because to be completely honest with you, I'm not the best at this kind of stuff. Kind of lack some skill. But today let's talk about something extremely important. So we're gonna talk about love, actually, right? We're gonna talk about love. My channel name is LoverFella, but I never have talked about love. So I'm gonna give you, first off, a little bit of background info on myself. Now, relationship-wise, I usually don't bring them up because I don't like to talk about my relationships. What is this? Heal yourself and others with a syringe. I'll use that right now because I think I could use some healing. That's disgusting. But I usually don't talk about love, my relationships. I keep it more personal, you know, because I just feel like they don't always want to be included in my videos. And also, timeout. That looks like a new weapon also, so we're just gonna do a little reorganizing. All right, back on track now. No more distractions. And so I had one relationship that lasted 7 years. I'm only 23, so it lasted for like a third of my life. It was a pretty long relationship. I took some time off and we ended because it was kind of brutal, but it was, you know, it was longer than it should have been. You know, there were mistakes that I didn't really call out at the time. Looking back upon, we just weren't that great together and stayed because of something called the law of familiarity. Here's someone. Or the lost time fallacy, which basically means you put so much time into something that you're afraid to leave it. So I put so much time in that relationship, I was afraid to leave, even though we both knew that we should have. And eventually we did. It wasn't easy, but we happened. Made that happen. And actually ended up dating another girl after that. Sorry, I'm just being a little cautious. I don't want to die here. For not quite a year, a couple months. And it was great. We went, you know, we were great together. Our relationship was good. And then with me moving and stuff, you know, things just didn't work out as you would like it. The interesting thing, though, is that they were both named Lauren. So both of them had the exact same name. So if you guys know any Laurens, or you're a Lauren out there and you're looking for someone, you know, let me know. But the reason I bring that up... Oh! Hey, I got my first kill. How about that? Felt good. Oh my goodness. Wow, so I don't know if that dude had anything I needed, but I'm gonna learn that blueprint, take some bandages, take his bow and arrow. Wow, incredible. I don't even know like what stuff is good. I'll get back to the point of this soon, but I'm gonna take that jacket and put that on. Maybe I'll take that. I guess I can do this, and then it'll stack it if it can, right? I feel like that's probably the way it does it. A little bit of ammo. I don't know if I want spikes. I don't know what most of this does here. Do I need that? I can stack it, right? Yeah. And then we'll just take a little medicine and stab ourselves in the hand. So finally, getting back to what I'm saying here is that love is super important, and it's actually rated one of the most important things by anyone. They said if they could pick any emotion, people would pick love. So it's pretty interesting to think about that people are really, really passionate about that, but a lot of people don't know much about it. And so, of course, being someone who reads all the time, I read a book all about it, and I found 5 love languages is what they're called. They're secret languages, essentially, that every single person speaks, but no one really realizes they speak it. And so I've been studying this for quite some time, recommended the book to my friend, and I thought I would talk about it today because the information in it is some of the coolest stuff I've ever heard in my life, and it literally completely changed my life forever. So let's maybe crouch over or just kind of find a nice corner somewhere and talk about this. So if you've ever been in a relationship, you've ever been with a girl and maybe a guy, whatever it is, most of my audience is guys, so I'm probably going to talk in the mind frame that these guys would talk, but if you're a girl, just sub out guy for girl in the future. So you're in a relationship, everything's going well, but for some reason it feels like they don't feel welcome, they feel lonely, or maybe you feel lonely and you can't figure out why. Maybe you do something sweet for someone and they don't appreciate it, like you buy them flowers and they're like, that's thanks, but whatever. That's because you weren't speaking their love language. And what this means is that everyone speaks a different language. Every single person responds differently to different language. And so far, research has shown us that there's only 5 of them. But it's really interesting because you can easily identify which one is yours and then apply it to not only yourself, your relationships, your friendships, your family, pretty much everything. And you can, I don't want to say you manipulate people, but you can actually change the way that you behave around people when you understand their language. And then you can actually just have better relationships with people. So if I figure out someone is this way instead of this way, then I'm not going to do like they're A instead of B, I'm going to do A, you know. So we're going to jump into the first one, and I have them all written out, but the first one is called receiving gifts. So something that I hate is receiving gifts. Now, I don't mind getting a donation, I don't mind getting a present for Christmas, I don't think it's a bad thing, but I hate getting gifts from my significant other because I don't feel like it matters. To me, I don't want them to spend money on me because like I'm like, that doesn't really show me much other than the fact that you have money and you're probably spending it on something I don't need. Why does I have an X? Oh, that's cool. Get extra wood for hitting the X. But you don't have to spend money on me. You know, that's not something I care about. It's not super important. Now, the second girl I was with, she loved getting gifts. She thought it was the greatest thing ever. So I didn't understand it and she loved it. There was a big disconnect there because she would be upset if I, or not upset, but not happy if I didn't get her a gift. So she wanted flowers. She wanted me to bring her food. She wanted me to help her, you know, bring her things. And to me, it didn't make sense. And the reason it didn't make sense to me is because when I was young, my parents would buy me gifts when they messed up. And so I had associated gifts with something negative. So every time they messed up, I knew they would bring me back an Xbox controller or something like that. And it just left a horrible feeling in my mind. And to this day, I still cannot stand getting gifts because of that. And I just feel like, what do I owe you? What do you, like, why are you doing this? Or what are you trying to make up to me? And it's just a horrible, horrible thing that happened, I guess. But that's just how it is for me. And so everyone has their own ways they've grown up. So some people, gift giving is their primary language. And what that means is, in order to show that you appreciate or love them or like them, you have to give them a gift. So that can be used in friendships, relationships, pretty much anything that you can think of. And so once you figure out if someone's like that, it's pretty easy. If they get a gift and they get very happy, then you know that they're like that. And so this can also be applied in the workplace. I hear some fighting. I'm trying to not die. As a matter of fact, I can't build close to monuments. All right, we're going to build a base, guys. But as a matter of fact, you can use this in the workplace because if someone does something good, instead of rewarding them with good job, you did great, you reward them with money because that's their language and that's what they love. And so that's a huge one. So to me, it was massive to actually... I don't think I need these, but I'm going to take them. So to me, it was massive to learn that. Something I thought was bad my entire life is actually one of the core principles of showing love to someone. So in a workplace, you give them money. In relationships, you give them, maybe you give them an extra gift. I mean, there's a dude over there. But you can just do something really small and people will always appreciate it and it's incredible.
Hello.
I don't know why I hit him. I don't even know how to talk, so that was like my default go-to. He's like, hello, we hit each other and he kept going. That's Rust in a nutshell. So that's the first love language. That's the very first one. If you are that person or know someone that is, it's important to share that with people so everyone understands what kind of person you are. It's going to make a big difference for you. So that's the first language. That's all there is. It's gifts, gift giving. It's very simple. And I don't know why I'm still next to a monument, but I really want to get one of these built here soon. It's very interesting to me. Now the second one, this is what I am. My primary language is words of affirmation, all right? So what this means is you really, really, really like when people tell you that you did good. So words of affirmation are things like, great job designing our new system, great video, great this, great that. Words of affirmation is when people say something nice to you, you love it, you respond really well to it. And so me, 100%, that's what I am. Words of affirmation is me for forever, man. That's just exactly what I am. Uh-oh, I hit right mouse to get a different building block and my game froze. There we go. All right, we'll get some walls. Start simple, just a little 2x2. And so some people are like that. So some people, all you have to do is go up to and say, hey, I really like XYZ that you did. I really like your video. I really like just anything, like just any kind of simple compliment. Some people will absolutely just love it. So maybe that's your language or your significant other's language, and they really, really appreciate hearing those kind of compliments. Essentially, it's compliments. It's people just love to hear you're doing good. It just makes them feel good. And for whatever reason, that is what mine is. All right, we got some bad news. That server literally just crashed while I was playing it, so our entire base is gone. But fortunately, I've got a backup server. Unfortunately, we've died, and so I'm back to ground zero. Anyway, continuing on what we were saying, words of affirmation, very simple. You say compliments, people love it. A lot of people have this one. It's a very common one. So if you just compliment someone like frequently, they're going to love it. So if someone does something wrong and has this, instead of saying, hey, you're wrong, you're stupid, don't do that, instead you say, hey, you know, turn it into a positive. Say too good before a bad. There's like some techniques around it. Do some research on that. Can't say I know them all myself. I wish I did. But it's extremely important to understand that, because if you don't do this, those people aren't going to feel that love. If you're buying them gifts and they don't really want gifts, then they're going to be like, this person doesn't love me. Tree. Gotta be weird in this game. People won't kill you, generally speaking. Unless he does, of course. This is a very populated server, too. So I think we're just going to go look for some of those little containers, because I get weapons out of them sometime. All right, so that's the second one. We have gifts, we have words of affirmation, and the next one is quality time, also one that I have. You can have multiple. Some people are a little more complicated, have 2 or 3. I definitely have a few of these. Quality time means essentially that you really value spending time with them, but not just being near them or being next to them. You really value one-on-one talk. So instead of hanging out and you're sitting on your phone, instead of like, you know, being distracted in any way, these people really value one-on-one time. And so if every single time you hang out, you have your phone out, Blackberries, they're not going to feel connected. If every single time you hang out, instead of talking to them, you're distracted with your work or your cooking or your YouTube videos or your game or whatever it is you're doing, they're not going to feel connected. So with these people, you generally want to take about 30 minutes minimum to an hour a day where it's literally just you two, just talking about your day. And it's good to ask them questions. These type of people really like to talk to you. They want to tell you about their day. They want to hear about your day. So just have really good, deep, meaningful conversations. You can't just buy them a gift and be like, hey, here's some flowers. Now, they still will appreciate the flowers, all right? Don't get me wrong, they're still going to appreciate that. They'll still like it. Everyone has a little bit of everything here, but that's not their primary. And so if you're not doing their primary every single day, then it's not going to work. And yes, what the heck, bro? What the... That does mean if someone's a gift lover, if that is theirs, they're like a 10 out of 10, that's what they need, you would probably need to buy them a gift every single day. Could get expensive. You might have to get creative. It doesn't matter what the gift is, though. It could be a flower you pick from your yard. It could be anything, but you should do this every single day. I don't understand this rock right now. Yo, I can't get it. But this one just means spend time with them. Meaningful time. Do things. Take trips. Go camping. Go hiking. Go to a mall. Go to the movies. Just you and them. Don't bring your phone into it. Once you start bringing your phone into it, you'll hear complaints about how you're always on Reddit or always on Facebook when you're eating dinner. That is bad. That is a big, big bad. No, no, no. Relationship will not work if you cannot do this. So identifying it is very important for you and for them, and then to share that with them. And then once you get good at it, I've spent a lot of time practicing, you can figure out who's like, who, you know, what other people are. So if I'm talking to a friend and I'm like, dude, you did great on this project, and their face lights up, you know that they like words of affirmation. Or if that's that friend that they just really like getting coffee and just talking for a long time, you know that that's what that friend's language is. And so the love languages can be translated into friendships. So it's so powerful. Like, it's just such a powerful thing to know. It's unbelievable. And it's like the kind of thing where no one knows. Like, you don't know unless you read this book. Like, you're not looking this up. You don't think it exists. And so it makes me so excited because I feel like I have this superpower that like half the world, more than half the world, doesn't even know exists right now. So it's crazy. All right, the next one, this one came to a shock to me more so than the gift giving, and it is acts of service. So what this one means is this person is really responsive when you do something for them. So they're really gonna like you when you go change the oil on their car, or you clean their room, or you do the dishes for them, or you help them do something they don't want to do. So I dated a girl, hers was this and gift giving. Two things that I didn't understand. One of the reasons we didn't work out, I didn't get her languages, and she didn't get mine. And she would be like, hey, I need help with my car. I need you to help me, you know, change my tires. And I was like, okay, let's do it. And so to me, this was a big waste of time. I was like, I don't want to do this. But to her, that was a mix of quality time and acts of service. By helping her, that shows me that I care enough about her that I'm willing to do these kind of things. And it was a huge moment that I basically really messed up. We had a few hours together to do this. And instead, we kind of got angry and we're like, oh, we can't get this, wasting our time kind of deal. When really deep down, it was an act of service. So those things are important. So literally doing dishes could be your thing. So if the person that you're with really likes acts of service, you might see yourself sweeping the house, or maybe your parents are like that. So if you want them in a good mood, you're gonna have to clean. You're gonna have to clean. You're gonna have to go shopping, get your groceries, get your dishes, stuff like that. It's weird, you know? It's weird. A lot of people don't think of love like this, but that is a way to express it. That's the way that these people feel loved. And that's all based on how you were raised. I'm going to check out this house. It's based on how you were raised, but it's also based on your genetics and just all of your experiences coming together, and they develop your custom love language code. And so everyone's is different, but make sure you understand them. And then finally, we're going to jump into the last one here, which, take a guess before I get into it. Leave a comment. I want to see if you guys can guess it before I say it. I'll give you a second to type something. All right. So the final, I don't understand what's happening with my aiming today. The final language is physical touch. Physical touch. Every single guy very much has this one. It's pretty common. It's usually the main language of most males, and it's just, you know, it's just how it is. It's kind of based on the fact that it's a, you know, reproduction. I'm not going to get into that, but that's one of the things it's based on in the primal days. So that can be anything from holding hands to hugging to a kiss or something simple like that. Just any type of touch, even if it's just like you walk by and you touch their shoulder, whatever it is. There's a boat. What the heck? And there are boats in this game. Incredible. Oh, it doesn't have fuel, but that's pretty awesome to see. I don't know how to get off this thing. All right, cool. So physical touch is the last one. So if you're a physical touch person, you know what those things involve. Just anything, like just playing with your hair, you know, high five, holding hands, anything like that is physical touch. That's going to make these people feel loved. So I've explained all the love languages to you, and you all have your own set of combination. I like to rank it out of a 10. So go through and rank yourself out of 10. Like literally do this. on a piece of paper. You can say, all right, I don't like gifts. I'm going to give myself a 2, but I really like physical touch. I'm going to put that as a 9, and maybe I also really like getting words of affirmation, so that's going to be a 10. So, you know, oh no, I think the game's, oh, thank goodness, didn't crash. Go through, rank yourself, figure out what yours are, figure out what your significant others are, or if you don't have one, figure it out in the future and pay attention. And then you can use this to really show people how you actually feel. You don't have to speak your language, because if you're not speaking the same language, if yours is touch and theirs isn't, then they're going to do the one they want and you're going to do the one you want. So think about how you treat people, and that's generally what your language is. So if I'm always touching people or whatever, that's mine. If you're always being nice to people, that's yours. If you're always giving gifts, that's yours. So that's how you can figure out yours if you don't know what it is. And we also need to eat. Hopefully these berries don't poison us. It's very possible they do, to be honest with you. I have no idea. We're low on food and it's really dark. There's a fire in there. There's definitely a person in there too. I don't know how to get there, but we're going to leave them. So you know how to figure it out. You know what they are. You know how to figure out yours. You know how to figure out your significant others. Now you just have to remember to apply this, because think of it like this. If you're speaking Chinese and your significant other is speaking English, you're not going to understand each other, all right? So if you're speaking a different language, you will not understand each other. So even though you may feel like you're putting in a bunch of effort, they say you're not trying, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. Truth is, you are not speaking their language, and so they don't feel like you're doing anything. If you bought me a gift, if you bought me something like that, I would not think much of it. I'd be like, oh, thanks, you bought me a pizza, cool. But if you bought my ex a gift like that, she would be happy for days. She'd be like, I can't believe you bought me a pizza. That's so thoughtful. You knew I would be hungry. That's amazing. It's not about the money. It's about the gift. So guys, I just want to leave you with the thought that as long as you keep these principles close and you apply them in your life, you will have amazing relationships with friends, family relationships. I mean, you know, friendships, like significant others, whatever it is. They will be incredible if you apply this, because the number one reason relationships fail is because they're speaking different languages. So if you can think of an ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend, why you guys didn't work, the reason will 100% of the time trace back to because you didn't speak the same language. And I can guarantee that applies to 110% of situations. There is no alternative. This will always apply to you, no matter how old, no matter what relationship, no matter who it is, it will apply. And to me, ooh, I hear something like electrical here. I don't know if I like that, but I do like that. A little hat, a little beanie. I also got some spikes, it appears. I'd like to just place these anywhere, to be honest with you. But remember how powerful this knowledge is. If you speak someone's language, you are going to be someone that they can always come out to, that they can trust, and they feel like understands them. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, we all just want to be understood by someone. And if you don't make someone feel like they're being understood, they're not going to stay with you. That applies to I mean, it does apply to your parents. Mine left. It applies to your significant others. It applies to everything. So this does not just apply to your girlfriend, boyfriend. That's why I keep repeating this. I want to make sure you understand this applies to everyone. Now, unfortunately, we didn't get a whole lot of action in terms of PvP in this game, but I'm really interested in continuing a series here, maybe bringing in a few patrons and kind of reconnecting with some of them. Now, I will be moving soon. It's very stressful for me because I've got to find a new place in an area I'm not familiar with for a new job that I'll be starting up. So I'll be off and on when I'm playing, but I do hope to find a tribe, maybe start up. It really depends on a lot of things in my life, and right now we're just playing random games and trying to motivate and inspire you guys for a short period of time. So as always, guys, thank you so much for listening. Go out, figure out what your languages are, figure out what your friends and significant others are, pay attention at all times, and your life's going to change. Don't forget to spread the love, guys. Leave a like if you enjoyed this, if this helped you, if it was new, and I'll see you all tomorrow.